we're going to go through treatment as far as it goes for the shoulder. Because we have a lot of times the mid-back shoulder run together, our treatment's kind of going to go together. So just going to feel through the mid-back a little bit before we do any kind of adjusting through some of the muscle tension. And then I'm going to have you lay face up for me. So in order to get the shoulder moving well, it really helps to have the mid-back moving well to begin with. So we're going to have you cross your arms, and then to adjust the mid-back, take hand behind, a little pressure, and then we would drop through here, finding those areas that are a little more restricted. Coming into the shoulder, we can do a few things to be a little more gentle. Sometimes when that arm is really hot after an injury, we can just do some general mobilization, kind of traction, pulling the shoulder away from the body, and make those a little bit bigger and even come a little bit overhead to where that painful spot typically is at for a lot of people. When we have an issue where rotation internally or down is a little more difficult, we can try and stretch through that shoulder capsule a little bit. And we'll do some muscle work for this type of issue as well. We'll get to that in just a minute. But anytime we're able to do a little bit of traction, it tends to help with the rotation of a joint. And so we can do that. If we're limited more in the external, we can go more this way. Outside of the internal rotational, a lot of the other pain we'll get is right in the front of the shoulder, where we'll get some impingement. So being able to take the shoulder, I'll have you slide a little towards this edge. And we can kind of rotate it back and down, trying to create more space there in the joint again. As we stretch that shoulder capsule, allow it to rotate back more, will give us more runway so that we can rotate forward. With a lot of these injuries, the biggest issue is if we can't get back far enough, we don't have the room to rotate forward. So if we're starting forward, we just run into a hard stop as bone hits bone, pinching muscle between bone. And that's what tends to make our shoulders a little angry. The easiest way I've heard it said is you have bone, and squishy stuff in the middle, and squishy stuff doesn't like to get squished. So we can work through the front of the shoulder a little bit, working through the pecs. Those are muscles that tend to get tight, that pull that area, those two bones in the shoulder a little closer together. Going through the lat a little bit as well. And then I'll give you your arm back for a second. If we want to get a little bit more out of that traction that we're doing, we can use something like this. This is called a mulligan belt. Use it a lot for the hips, but we can use it for the arms as well. So all I'm going to do is reach this around your arm, and we would seat this kind of down into the shoulder a little bit, and then I'm able to use my legs to pull out and get a good stretch through that shoulder, and then I can induce some rotation with it as well, going each way. Just really trying to open up that joint, give us more runway to do any cross-body motion or rotation through that shoulder. Have you sit up facing that way again. Rotator cuff, really important group of muscles here in the back of the shoulder. We'll get some tension through there, restriction through the musculature, so we can go through some movements trying to free up some of that movement. I'll have you bring your arm up to the side like this and just kind of rotate it across your body so we can pin through some of this muscle, Nice thing is anytime we can create some movement with the therapy we're doing, find it tends to really help out in improving that movement. And then go ahead and do kind of a snow angel, kind of up to the sky and back down. Same thing, working through the traps and rhomboids a little bit. And then go arm out to the side, and you're going to rotate down. And then rotate up to get the other part of that rotator cuff. Okay, great. So that's a few things for our assessment and treatment of the shoulder. We're going to go over a few of the exercises that we would pair with the treatment for any type of shoulder complaint, particularly anytime we have any rotation limits or feeling that pinching feeling in the front of the shoulder. So the first one, we went through a little bit of a traction on the treatment table, but this is a way to do it yourself at home. So you can take a band like this. I'll have you loop your arm through there. Like to put the hand through it and then wrap it around behind so you can get a hold of it. Step a few steps away to get a good stretch there. We really want it to feel like it's opening up that shoulder. And then from there, we're going to create rotation. So you're going to rotate all the way in as far as you can, rotate all the way out as far as you can. And so we can just play around with this, doing a bunch of reps, 20, 30 reps of this, seeing how our forearm works, our shoulder, and everyone's a little bit different where they feel it at. And typically, I would say that you feel it where you need it the most. And then we can change positions. So you can rotate towards, away, and then do the same thing, those rotations back and forth. And then turn towards the wall with the band. The same thing, we'll do those rotations there. Go ahead and rotate. And then face towards these doors over here for me. And the same thing, he's going to twist with that crossbody. Just trying to find every possible position we can to put movement through that arm, and to do that in a distracted manner. Try and give us as much range of motion as possible. Okay, great. The next thing that we're going to use, we're going to try and work on some stability through the back of the shoulder, working through that rotator cuff, those traps. These are called Y's, T's, and I's. You're just going to be making a T shape with your arms, a Y, and an I. And so these are going to hit the shoulders a little bit different, put us into different positions as we come out to the side with that movement backwards, a little bit kind of more in that throwing arc, and then straight overhead, working a few different muscles. But the big thing is that we're just trying to create as much motion while keeping stability through the back of the shoulder. Great. And so those are a few exercises that we would start with when we're dealing with any kind of shoulder issue in a baseball player or other throwing athlete.